So blessings and best wishes to all. Happy to have you here on tonight, which is and the beauty of the Sangha that I just mentioned is that the beauty of Buddhist practice is as follows. Life is not either or. It's both and it may be challenging to see it that way. But we were reminded by one of our Sangha mates that lives in Atlanta, Georgia, that January 6th in Georgia is when Ossoff won and Warnock won, and the Democrat majority in the Senate was gained, right? So I'm from DC, so I see it from that perspective because I used to work on Capitol Hill. So the beauty of being around other people is that you get the benefit of their wisdom. So as we dive into a remembrance of January the 6th, let us also remember that it was the day that the unthinkable happened, that two Democratic senators from Georgia got elected overwhelmingly, honestly, right? So like, let's just hold space for that in addition to the context of why we're gathered today. Um, so I want to give gratitude to each of you for showing up. I want to give gratitude for you showing up to have tough conversations and to just be in compassionate community around something that our culture doesn't really talk about, which is hard stuff. Like our culture loves to like, oh man, did you see what Steph Curry did last night? Like we love to talk about trifles and not hold space for important things. And we as a society, we will never get to where we hope for if we don't have a reckoning with what happened, right? So we gotta hold space for things that we may not like per se, because just because you don't like them doesn't mean that they didn't happen, right? So and as I mentioned earlier, it's not that there's some people who believe that the insurrection was a hoax and all these other things, but I used to work on Capitol Hill. I know members of Congress, they're my friends. And I taught meditation to several Senate offices and House offices the week after the insurrection. So I had the blessing of being able to hold space for people who were ridiculously traumatized. Like, so that's when I knew that this teaching thing was a thing for me because people were like, Reggie, can you teach us meditation the week? You trust me enough to. So that was pretty humbling for me. And so I approach today with reverence and sadness and just confusion, a little bit of anger at the same time. And that's why I wanted to hold space because I'm sure several of us are holding this extreme mix of emotions, right? Like there's some folks, like I said, who I watched the news this morning because I used to do that all the time and old habits die hard. And when I saw the discussion of, oh my goodness, like Democrats think this, Republicans think this, we're divided and commercial, I was like, this is this isn't helping anybody. So I'm hopeful tonight to hold space for the nuance and the challenging emotions that you may or may not have, or if you don't have them, you know someone that does have them. And holding space for this nuance allows us to create space to heal. Because that's what all of these practices are about is healing. So I want to give gratitude to each of you for showing up tonight to hold space for something that we never thought we would bear witness to. Like an incited mob by a sitting president to overthrow the will of the people through violent means, and this is another word that we're familiar with. Like, I never thought in my lifetime that I would say with regularity insurrection, quarantine, pandemic, impeachment, like all of these things that were once SAT words that, you would be nerdy about. Oh, the word that I didn't understand was pandemic. Like that's part of our regular life. So like this has been foisted upon us by the events, and just to hold space for that is all of those words are challenging, right? And, speaking personally, as I mentioned, my last job was in Congress, right? I was a congressional liaison for the 115th and 116th Congress. I walked the halls of Congress, have been in like Speaker Pelosi's office, all the things. And I never thought that when I watched the Capitol be stormed, um, I felt confused. I felt angry, outraged, but I knew in my heart that if they looked like me, it would have been bloody Tuesday, right? So like the underreported aspect of the event is that like if they were black teenagers or indigenous teenagers or transgendered whatever, like if they were people of a darker hue protesting peacefully, they might have gotten shot. So like that's what I've been holding with and that's what I've been sitting with. And you don't have to have my direct connection to the Capitol to have to feel loss or disillusioned or anger or trauma. Whether it be for what unfolded or the lack of accountability for people in office that helped make it happen. um, and you don't have to have profound sadness is also easy to do, and there's a level of innocence that we lost that day, that we're never going to get back, which is heartbreaking. To the extent, for those of you that remember 9/11, like in the old days, for you young folks, you don't know, like you used to be able to go to the airport like 10 minutes beforehand, like and run to your plane. All right. So like I remember as someone who has got all the stamps on his passport, like I was mourning that, in addition to seeing the Pentagon get hit by a plane, I was just like, man, the ignorant naivete of, yeah, I can just show up and run like OJ Simpson, like to the airport, like that level of innocence. We never thought we would see our own capital attacked by our own people. Right? Like that is hard to digest. And we've all lost so much individually and collectively in recent memory. It's necessary, as people, but especially as practitioners, to hold space for the loss. You got to hold space for the loss, because if you don't, you'll be stuck. And speaking a little bit about collective trauma, I'd like to lean on some of the recent training that I've undertaken, in mindfulness certification. When we don't integrate and have an honest reckoning of our past experiences, we're in a postponed experience. We're not present. We're not able to be present. And we lose an awareness of presence. Integrated history, so sitting with difficult things, allows you to be present, allows you to be more clear. And a clear present moment is better than an unintegrated historical experience. Right. There are some people who I read, Alexis sent me this stuff about, there's an Instagram channel called Washingtonian Problems. And I read the comments about how people were feeling on the 6th. And it ranges, right? Some people are like, I've got better things to do with my life than think about this. Or it just shows that the rich get, like it was all these things, PTSD, there are all these things that people are feeling. But the purpose of this meditation tonight is to, as best as we can, integrate past experience, however painful it may be, to make the fragmentation that is our societal norm into a more holistic understanding. Right? To begin to hold space for challenges and do so in a manner that allows us to be more whole and more present, as opposed to more diffuse and more fractured. So you may notice over the course of this practice many different emotions arising, and I encourage you to be present with them as best you can rather than avoid them. Write them down if you need to, name them, take a deeper breath if you find yourself short of breath, and lean on the strength of the collective. The reason that I hold sanghas like this on pivotal moments is because look around. There are 19 of us, or 20 of us if you include me, holding space on a difficult day. We're not in this alone. And I grew up in the Baptist church. Like, there is strength in numbers, y'all. Like, intentional community, yoga parlance talks about this, Buddhist parlance talks about this. When people of intentionality come together to hold space for difficult problems, there's an alchemy there. So if during the course of our meditation something comes up and you don't think that you have the strength, we're doing this together on purpose. Right? So lean into that alchemy and allow that alchemy to transform what you're feeling, rather than feeling that you're by yourself. Right? So I want to encourage that. And when the time is right, let the emotions pass and breathe into the space that is created when the emotions pass, if emotions come up. And before we get into metta meditation, I wouldn't be my advisor in Buddhist meditation would kill me if I didn't give a discourse on some of the history. So the goal of metta meditation is to awaken our connectedness to all life, right? It's to awaken the part of the heart that cares and to dissolve the myth of other or separation. It's to awaken that sense of unconditional love for self and for others. And if mindfulness is the capacity to see clearly, metta is the capacity to meet with what's happening with kindness and caring. So it's not just enough to be aware of something, you are aware of it, and then you meet it with as much compassion and kindness as possible, beginning with self, right? And Sabine Selassie likens metta to the warmth and power of the sun, which illuminates all, which thaws all, and it allows us to see things more clearly with compassion and that may have been dark. The warmth of metta allows for repair and reconnection. And another aspect of metta to consider is that it's the response of the awakened heart, right? It's a quality of attention and discernment about what your needs are and how to respond in light of those needs. So I may offer a few things in meditation that may not work for you. Please feel free to tune them out if they're not in accordance with your needs. And this loving place that we cultivate, stay in this tender, loving place and give yourself permission to bask in the warmth of the gold rays of the sun. Right, especially in all of y'all are in North America. It's wintertime. We got a foot of snow the other day. So like any references to the sun, I'm down with. Right, we don't. And I shout out to Michigan. I see that. And allow the sun to thaw areas that may have grown cold or illuminate areas that may be dark. Right. So before we begin meditation, I want to offer and honor several things. I want to honor the land where I'm on and the land where we all are on, because we are all passengers here and none of us were here first. And in acknowledging the land, it allows us to be more connected to where we are, as opposed to any stories about conquest that have been foisted upon us. I'm in the land of the Piscataway, and I have Monacan and Cherokee blood in my veins. And so if you do not know the native land where you are, do research on it, first of all. And second of all, just be more mindful of the land that you occupy, because we're from the land. Like earth beings are from the land. And I'd also like to give honor to the various lineages through which I'll be drawing tonight's practice. It's a book, mostly Buddhist lineages over thousands of years in culture and community. The Thai forest tradition, learned through Ajahn Chah, Jack Cornfield, and the Zen Buddhist lineage with Roshi Joan Halifax as my main teacher there. And I'd also like to acknowledge my ancestors, but yours as well. Those that came before us, and offer an opportunity to name that we all have ancestors, many of whom endured challenges equal or more profound than what we're experiencing now. We exist through their resilience. So they persevered, and it's in their perseverance that gives us the gift of life. So may we be able to lean on their resilience and perseverance as we encounter all of the ridiculous circumstances that are our norms these days. And however you celebrate ancestors, imagine them at your back, not only as a foundation, but as a sense of support. And with that acknowledgement, let's move towards the meditation. Allow yourself to sit comfortably and quietly, relaxed yet alert. And this posture can be upright, it can be on the back, it can be any way that allows you to receive. And relax any areas of the body that may be tense or tight. So use the awareness of the conscious mind to scan the body from head to toe to see what may be present for you. And maybe you give yourself a gentle massage. Maybe you shrug the shoulders and massage the face and wiggle the hands. But as you sit comfortably, allow yourself to shake off the day to be more present with where we are now. And that can be as light or robust as you need. So, another 30 seconds or so of shaking off the day, being in the body. Maybe you open and close the jaw. Maybe you massage the face. There's so many things that you can do, but lean into your intuition about how best to be present with your physical form. Another 15 seconds of whatever works for you. Eventually winding your way back to your posture of choice, bearing in mind that you can also shift posture over the course of our time together. And take a few moments to feel the breath at the heart space. Breathing in, sense that you're receiving warmth and energy. And as you breathe out, sense that you're letting go into openness, more expansion, more space. And settle into the breath as best you can. For those of you for whom the breath is challenging, feel the feet on the ground or the seat on the ground. So if taking a deep breath is uncomfortable, feel a sense of grounded connection, not just to the earth, but to one another. So sense into the heart connection in Sangha, in Kula, in community. And as we begin our loving kindness practice, our metta meditation, let's begin the practice slowly. So as you continue to breathe and sense the breath of the heart, let the body rest and the heart be as soft as possible. And as the heart softens, notice what emotions may be sitting with you in the context of January 6th, in the context of the day, in the context of the life. Shit is crazy right now. And allow your inhales and exhales to create more space, perhaps even exhaling out the mouth as we begin, just to create more space and to release what may have come up. Over the course of loving kindness meditation, you may place a hand at the heart center, or one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, whatever allows you to get more in touch with who you are in this moment. And it's best to begin directing loving kindness meditation to those you love, because sometimes we have a difficult feeling giving it to ourselves. So let's begin by offering it to others. So imagine someone that you love a lot, where love comes easily and is uncomplicated. It can be a dog, it can be a child, it can be someone from the past or present. It can be someone still in your life, someone who has passed on. It could be a spiritual teacher or a guide, an imaginary friend. It can be anything along that continuum. And as you keep the breath gentle, recite inwardly to yourself the following phrases directed toward their well being. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from inner and outer dangers. May you be well in body and mind. May you be at ease and happy. I'll repeat them again 3 or 4 times, a little slower. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from inner and outer dangers. May you be well in body and mind. May you be at ease and happy. Two more times to your loved one, your dog, your child, whatever individual or entity is easy to love. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from inner and outer danger. May you be well in body and mind. May you be at ease and happy. Last time. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from all inner and outer danger. May you be well in body and mind. May you be at ease and happy. Now, for the next minute or so, repeat one or all of these phrases at whatever pace beckons to you. Perhaps you adjust the words, perhaps you shift on the fly. But let these feelings of love, space, and grace permeate your heart, body, and mind. And now that you've offered the practice to someone else, consider the practice for yourself and notice if this brings up some apprehension. To make it easier, envision or imagine the individual or loved ones that you just sent loving kindness to gazing back at you and offering the same well wishes. Imagine them earnestly wanting you too to be held in kindness, to be safe and be well and be happy. And picture them saying to this to you kindly and softly. May you also be filled with loving kindness. This is to you. May you also be safe from inner and outer danger. May you also be well in body and mind. May you also be at ease and happy. Two more times, imagine them saying this to you, you being the recipient of the kindness that you just offered. May you also be filled with loving kindness. May you also be safe from inner and outer danger. May you also be well in body and mind. May you also be at ease and happy. Last time, you're the recipient of this from your chosen anchor. May you also be filled with loving kindness. May you also be safe from inner and outer danger. May you also be well in body and mind. May you also be at ease and happy. And now that you've received these admonitions with gratitude, take their wishes onto yourself and offer them to yourself. May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I be healthy in body and mind. May I be at ease and happy. Three more times directed from yourself to yourself. May I be safe from inner and outer danger. May I be peaceful and filled with loving kindness. May I be well in body and mind. May I be at ease and happy. Twice more. May I be safe from inner and outer danger. May I be peaceful in body and mind. May I be at ease and happy. May I also be filled with loving kindness. For the next minute or so, in the same way that we offered, maybe you create a little freestyle and offer it to yourself a different way. But for the next minute, from you to you, offer the same wishes to yourself. Breath deep and full into the heart space. Body free from tension. basking in the glow of metta upon yourself. Now, shifting our attention from ourselves to others, specifically all those who may be experiencing suffering today for whatever reason. These could be the families of those who lost their lives in the attack. This could be those who have experienced harm either as a result of the event or other events or bad policy. I mean, there's so many opportunities to offer the abundance of what you just received. And from the abundance of what you just offered yourself, again, it could be those who lost their lives, their families, anyone who had a disturbing experience, who still lives with those disturbing experiences. Offer them the same wishes. May you be safe from inner and outer danger. May you be well in body and mind. May you be at ease and happy. I'll repeat twice and then we'll give space to repeat on your own. May you be safe from inner and outer danger. May you be well in body and mind. May you be at ease, happy, and free from all suffering. May you be safe from inner and outer danger. May you be well in body and mind. May you be at ease and happy and free from all suffering. Now, as we head towards conclusion, expand your awareness and picture all of humanity. Yourself, those you held space for, and to whatever degree you can, those who are suffering so much that they chose to act violently and cling to lies and anger. Because whether we like it or not, their behavior impacts us. And it has been hard for me to do so, but I wish them a life free from pain and delusion and suffering. If holding space for that is too much, then send broad thoughts of loving kindness to all living beings, those you know and don't know, that they be healthy, happy, and free from suffering, whether it be systemic or self imposed. But should you venture to offer it to those who do not think like you and it's hard to hold space for, do so from the abundance of the feeling that you had when you received it from your anchor and that you gave to yourself. May all beings be filled with loving kindness. May all beings know great and natural peace. May all beings be healthy and free from suffering. May all beings awaken and serve one another. Again, may all beings be filled with loving kindness. May all beings know great and natural peace. May all beings find peace on earth and freedom from suffering. May all beings awaken and serve one another. Repeating this on your own for another minute or so. To the best of your ability, holding space for all of humanity, and if possible, for those whom it is challenging. Slowly begin to deepen the breath. Notice the state of the mind and how you feel now as the breath deepens. Take a deep inhale through the nose, full exhale out the mouth. 4 more like that. Deep, full inhale. Robust, liberating exhale. Again, deep inhale. Full exhale. Last, deep, full inhale. Full exhale. And as we conclude, take a moment to reflect on the experience of all that you've offered intention for or prayed for, your dear friend, a neutral person, a difficult one. And notice how holding space for all of us, we have a sense of shared humanity, your basic vulnerability and our basic goodness. Bring hands to heart center, press the palms together, rub the hands together to create a little bit of friction. And then with a spirit of loving kindness, place the hands over the eyes and massage the eyes who have seen so much, who do see so much and process so many things. Press firmly into the hands into the eyes. Open the eyes into the hands. Then as you're ready, lower hands down. Welcome back. Now take a moment to reflect on the experience you had. If you need to get up and walk around, cool. If you need to write down some insights, perhaps you sit with the stillness, but about 4 minutes or so in silent reflection on what you just offered, and then we'll open the space for shares. If at any point you need to leave, please do so. And after our sharing, I will play 3 sound bowls, one to ground, one for the heart, one to clear the mind. Because I believe it is malpractice to have these bowls behind me and not share them with you. That ain't cool. this meditation practice can be a bit of a journey. So acknowledging that and either reflecting or gentle movement or sitting in silent reflection, whatever calls out to you. About another minute. So feel free to stay as you are wherever you are. But for those who are inclined to share, either put something in the chat or you can raise your hand digitally or in IRL to offer anything that came up for you, any reflections either on the day or the practice. All is fair game. Or if you got nothing, that's cool too. But just want to hold space in loving community for anyone who has anything. Alexis, please.
Thank you for that first. It reminds me of a poem that a dear one of mine used to always read to me. And it's a lot of people interpret it as being, as you were talking about, to someone else. And recently I started reading it to myself. And so it felt kind of in tune to the meditation tonight. So most of you will know it, but I'll read it anyway. It has new meaning for me now that I think about it as the person being myself. I carry your heart with me. I carry it in my heart. I am never without it. Anywhere I go, you go, my dear. And whatever is done, by only me is your doing, my darling. I fear no fate, for you are my fate, my sweet. I want no world, for beautiful you are my world, my true. And it's you, or whatever a moon has always meant, and whatever a sun will always sing is you. Here's the deepest secret nobody knows. Here's the root of the root and the bud of the bud and the sky of a tree called life, which grows higher than soul can hope or mind can hide. And this is the wonder that keeps the stars apart. I carry your heart. I carry it in my heart.
Shiraz asked if that was E.E. Cummings.
Yep.
Nice. Thank you, dear Alexis. Anyone else care to offer anything into the space, either in the chat or anything goes. Nice, Jess. Nice, Jess. said I was quite cold before the practice, and it literally warmed my entire body. Biologically speaking, the heart has its own inner. I know Shiana is like, she talks a lot about this. Like, the heart has its own field, like its own electromagnetic field. And so think of the energy that just, right? So, and if it is the warmth of the sun, thank you for proving my metaphor. I appreciate that. Anyone else care to offer anything? Becky says, I'm a better typer. I wanted to tell you how thankful I am for this time because you honor how important this space and the pause, the process, the magnitude, all that is going on. Yep. I feel like I'm surrounded by a bunch of push forward. Whew, yeah. Becky, I learned the hard way. And in Sangha tonight, I'm going to read my notes before I forget. The one of our Sangha mates said, I've had to. Where's this paper? I'll find it. Here we go. I had to slow down and let my feelings catch up with my body, is what one of their teachers said to them. And I was just like, okay, like, is your teacher like talking to me? Like, for real? Right? Like, so the body and like, we go, 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 go. The feelings are still there. Feelings are just like, you can go as far away as you want, but you got to catch up to me somehow. Right? So, like, I have learned, and this is why I try and teach this way, that if we don't digest and process, we're not going anywhere. As far as we think that we're going, we're going to have to come back and deal with it. And if we don't deal with it, it'll deal with us, right? So, thank you for that reflection, Eleanor. Thank you for the cosign. I appreciate that. Shiana, then Beth.
Thanks, Reggie. Okay, and thank you for this gathering. The book that I'm reading is Amanda Gorman, Call Us What We Carry. And the poem that I'm especially leaning into, that I want to read and share, is Every Day We Are Learning. Every day we are learning how to live with essence, not, sorry, I have to turn the light up just a little bit. Okay. Every day we are learning how to live with essence, not ease. How to move with haste, never hate. How to leave this pain that is beyond us, behind us, just like a skill or any art. We cannot possess hope without practicing it. It is the most fundamental craft we demand of ourselves.
Say that last part again. I think I just cried
Yeah.
and missed what you said. I'm being serious.
Yes. Yeah, this is the line that is for me too. We cannot possess hope without practicing it. It is the most fundamental craft we demand of ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm just remembering this day, in the moment that it was happening, I was sitting with Taj, who was 10 years old then,
Hmm.
and just watched, like, in total, utter shock and disbelief. And he was asking what was going on. And then the days that ensued, I definitely felt so much confusion. I was so angry. And then Moose was just entirely depressed.
Hmm.
And like the mixture of feelings in our house, and with the children too. And so thanks for this gathering. And I could really feel the deep waves of interconnectivity through the meditation and with everyone here. So thank you.
Always, my dear one. Always. Thanks for the poem. I really, I appreciate that. Got me right in the middle. Beth, what you got?
As, well, as usual, you're right on where I am. I've been reading, listening to several, like, processing emotions, and I've got all these workbooks, for different things. And, it was talking about processing the emotions. And when it came time for me to say it to myself, or even have my kids were were my people that
Hmm.
I get, and it felt so good. Thank you, because I felt like I was putting more protection around them, because you know they need it. And um, so it was hard, but thank you, because I sat with it. I did, and I sat with it, and I'm like, sit with it, process it, get through it. And then I was just having, I was just thinking about, all the people that have paved for my generation, paved the road for my generation, and how they have fought. And, I was even, thinking back to like Vietnam. And my mom, it wasn't a big protest, but she protested Vietnam when she was pregnant with me. And it's a joke that I was marked then as a hippie. So, and I was even thinking about, the pictures of when they put the flowers in the rifles, and before this started, I kept saying, all we are saying is give peace a chance. And then when we needed to like pray or give the affirmations, I actually thought about Donald Trump, and I have not liked him since I was a kid for some unknown reason. Seriously. And I was like, but do it, Beth, you got to, and I was just, it's just, I don't understand what goes through people's minds, but it's not my place to understand. It's my place to, like she said, have hope. And I don't have a point. I just have a lot of rambling. So, thanks, because you really you gave me more tools, as you always do, and I'm so grateful. Thank you, and I'm so thankful for being a part of this tonight.
I'm
I
happy to
feel like
have you, and I'm happy that you took the bait, right? Like, you know how easy it would have been. Like, nah, I'm good. Like Reggie gave me an out. Like, I don't have to think about this dude. You know what I mean? So you took it, and that's challenging. But y'all, that's the work we got to do, right? There is no other. Like, their anger impacts us, and you can't out anger someone who's angry. You can just love them down. Right. And so one of the things that I've been trying to do is just embody that fierce, vulnerable love, just like a Care Bear stare, or like flower shower, whatever it is. Like, just be like, yo, you can hate all you want. Like, you are no match for this love. Rah! Like, that's just kind of how I plan on living the rest of my days. Like, you can hate all you want. Haters gonna hate, but this love got you, dog. You know what I mean? Like, only love can conquer hate. Like, I mean, Marvin's over my shoulder. That's what he's been telling me for my entire life. Right. So, like, this practice, and I'll be honest, like, I was super skeptical when I started practicing all this Buddhist stuff, but it gets you. And like, love is the powerful force of the universe that transforms all. And to Shiana's point from Sister Gorman's poem, if we don't practice hope, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. And so we've got to get into the practice of hope, because we see many examples of the practice of hate. Right. So, Carrington, thank you for your share. Thank you to holding space in this beautifully, heartbreakingly real moment. My awakened heart is grateful. I'm grateful for you. Jennifer, it's powerful for me to wish them to be free in their suffering. Right, right, right. When we talk in like Buddhist parlance about may all beings be free from suffering, that impacts us too. Like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, like whenever he gets on a roll and starts chuckling, you're like, oh my goodness, this dude's kind of hilarious. But like, he's like, so when you serve the needs of others, you actually serve yourself. So like, all beings are suffering. Everyone wants a happy life. So why not do what you can to be of service to helping people have a happy life? You get derivative benefit of that too, right? So it is empowering. It seems counterintuitive at first, I'll admit, but like, it is like, whoa, yeah. If I wish you well, it actually lowers my stress level, and it may actually work, because like, there are forces that drive this earth that are beyond our comprehension, and one of them is love. And so when we wish that on someone else, I remember my mom, I grew up in the church, and my mom's like, I'm going to pray for you. I was like, oh no. Just like, oh, I don't have a chance now. Like, oh my God. My mom's praying for me, my grandma's praying for me. I'm done. I may as well just give up. Right. Like I can't, I can't out stubborn a mother and a grandmother's love. I can't, right? So that's what I choose to think of love as. And Lorette, thank you for the applause. I appreciate that. Any other shares, dear friends, before I share sound with you to bring a little bit of closure to the moment? Shiraz.
I really needed to do something to acknowledge this date in history. And I, at the same time, really had to put the blinders on all day. Like I didn't want to
For sure.
see any images, any footage repeated, any comment. Like I really just blocked it all out. And I'm super grateful to have had a place to come and acknowledge this day in a completely different way. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that because, like I said, I watched. It was Larry Hogan, who's the governor of Maryland. I'm sick of that guy, but I digress. He was on the steps of the Capitol. I was like, "Oh yeah, well, Republicans don't blah blah blah, and Democrats blah blah blah." And I was like, "This is exactly why I'm holding this space tonight because we're divided." Commercial break. Yo, really? That's all you got? Like the moment is asking for something profound, and you have, oh, we're divided. You can do better than that. So I want to give a shout of gratitude to all y'all for stepping into the compassionate abyss of trying to do better. Because it only takes a small group of people with open hearts and like fierce love to change the world, and let it be us, right? We don't need hundreds of people here. We've got 20 people that held Sangha in hopeful, loving community. Let's go, right? Any other shares? Is that you, Shiraz? Or is that just a peace sign? Cool. All right, dear friends, I'm going to play 3 notes for you 11 times because 11 is my number. And it's also the number of transformation, right? So why not have a moment of sound in a spirit of transformation in hopes of a better day? So whatever posture allows you to receive sound, please take it. This will all be in the 3rd octave. We'll start at the root, then we'll go to the heart, then we'll end at the mind. Three clearing breaths as we prepare to receive sound. Deep in through the nose. Full exhale. Breathe into the heart space. Don't breathe into the belly, please. Deep in through the nose into the heart space. Full exhale. Deep full inhale. Robust exhale. 33 tolls, 11 on the D, 11 on the F, 11 on the A sharp. Deep inhale through the nose. Full exhale out the mouth. Heart chakra is next. In preparation for your Care Bear stare. I saw that in the chat. Y'all know I read that. I just didn't say anything. 11 tolls of a ceremonial F. Deep inhale through the nose into the heart. Exhale out the mouth. A sharp third octave for the mind. Deep inhale through the nose. Full exhale out the mouth. Feel free to stay as you are or make your way to a tall seat as we conclude. For those upright or wherever you find yourself, one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Feel into the experience you had individually and that we had collectively, and notice, as Shiana talked about, the deep interconnectedness that we share, not just in this group, but as human beings. And the next time you feel a little bit short or like othering someone, just remember that they're not that different from you. They're only as different as you choose to see them. That doesn't necessarily mean that you need to hang out with them, but it does mean that you can show them compassion and just wish them suffering, less suffering, because their suffering is impacting all of us. So may we be vessels of love and the alleviation of suffering for all we cross paths with. I bow before each of you in the spirit of love, grace, and compassion on this day. Love, grace, and peace. Ashe. Namaste. Blessings to all. See you soon. Over and out.